part two, duh, of our little tutorial series here. But anyway, get right to the shit. So guitars, yeah, we got guitars, and more guitars. I'll be honest with you. Part one, that was child's play. That was kiddie shit. Because let's be honest, anyone can just go out and buy the tune track MIDI libraries and just throw together loops, right? I mean, let's be honest. Seriously, anybody, literally anybody, can do that. So part one, excuse me, is a gimme. That's a buy. That's just I showed you how to do something that is stupid easy. So, really, it's just there for you know, uh, what's the word? For totality. It is there for totality. But in all honesty, it's just that's the simple shit, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, without further ado, we're doing guitars. Guitars, and more guitars. That's really kind of the dirty secret here with the fuck, let me maximize that. With what we're doing today is guitars. The dirty little secret is that there are a lot of guitars. We will be playing a lot of guitar parts. This one song, which I don't even know how long it's going to be. It's going to be, under 5 minutes, I'm sure. It's going to have a lot of guitar parts. And if I can say that again, do I sound like a fucking broken record? Am I just repeating myself? Yes, I am, because there are going to be a lot of guitar parts. We might not even finish them all in this one part of the tutorial. No, we won't. We won't finish them. But we will start them. And one thing I've already done here to kind of help us along the way, I could have done this while showing you, but it's just too dumb, is going again into the VST, the Superior Drummer VST window, and just looking at our drum map here, our drum arrangement, because this is really the arrangement of our song. As I said, we have a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, a bridge, and we do it all over again. So going in here and looking at the measures, and then just dropping in markers in the Reaper timeline so we know where the changes are coming up. Really simple. You just go in the Reaper timeline, and you just, I have this set to, to snap to the measure or beat. So just go wherever you want. Go to a measure, go to a beat, right click, left click on insert marker, and there you go. You can do it like that, but I just hit M. When you're there, hover above the timeline, hit M. There you go. A marker is created. Right click on that to remove it or edit it. And that's how I did all of these. And I'm not even going to name them. I mean, I could name this verse. I could go into there and hit edit marker and name it verse. I could go into this one and name that pre-chorus. Click on that, name it pre-chorus. I could, but why bother? I'm not going to. Because all I need to know is I need to look up at that timeline and be able to know where my parts begin and end. Simply. So also, just talky, too muchy, right? And fucking, what is this bullshit? Anyway, just to let you know what's going on here, I have a guitar, obviously, in my hand right now. It's tuned. I tuned it before I began recording. And I washed my hands. That's important because dirty hands create dirty strings. Dirty strings are shitty and corroded and out of tune. So you don't want to have dirt on your strings or on your fingers. So washed hands. Actually, I'll be honest with you. This might sound a little bit OCD, but I actually rubbing alcohol on my fingertips just to get any kind of shit off of them. Yeah, it sounds crazy, right? Yeah, I am crazy. So, yeah, tune the guitar. I have a Peterson strobe tuner, the clip-on one, which is just more convenient for me. So I'm using a strobe tuner clipped onto my guitar, already tuned, a 7-string Schecter. My Schecter 7-string is my trusty 7-string. It's the one without a Floyd Rose bridge, so it just stays in tune. It does what you want it to do. It's a workhorse. If it's got EMGs. It just you can't talk shit about it. Anything you throw at it, any riff you throw at it it's fine. It's good. This is why I usually start a song with this. Sometimes I'll start a song with my Les Paul if I'm just feeling sassy or bluesy, but no, not now, not today. Not today, Satan. So, here we go. Yeah, too much talky. I need to be playing riffy, right? Fuck. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, the song, the idea is we're gonna have a clean section. Let's see what's going on here. Do I even have signal? So, as my track template goes, I have guitar sims already on all of the guitar channels, but we don't want that. We don't want that, nor do we need that. So I turn those off, as well as the effects on the guitar bus. So now I have a really clean... Playing with the input gain here. I should also mention I'm using a extremely cheap budget interface, a Behringer Euphoria UMC22. And I am using no DI. I'm just plugging my guitar straight into the instrument high Z input. And more on that later, but that's what I believe you should do. I'm not even fucking joking. I believe you should save your money by buying a cheap interface. And you should also save my money. Save my money. I'm just a fucking retard, aren't I? This is like the second time I've fucking done that. You should also save your money further by not buying a fancy DI, unless you need to. I mean, if you have a real reason, there are reasons out there, if you have a super shitty a very old audio interface with super shitty high Z jacks, maybe you might need to buy DI. But yeah, I'm going to take time out right now to just say you don't need to, probably 80-90% of the time, you do not need a DI. It will not give you a cleaner signal. You can literally just plug right into your audio interface, your guitar that is, and record that way, and it will probably give you that will probably give you the cleanest, best signal, to be perfectly honest. So that's actually what I'm doing right now. Super cheap interface. A cable. I have a decent cable. Not a super expensive cable, but just one that isn't chewed to shit. And I mean literally chewed to shit, because my kitty cats will chew my cables to all hell. They just chew them up. So this is a working cable. Again, it doesn't have to be a expensive, great, it just has to be a fucking working cable. So I have all that set up right now. Without further bullshit, this has been like 10 minutes of bullshit already, right? I need to edit this down and post. So here we go. And let me say too, I haven't listened to this since last night when I did the drum tutorial. So I haven't been writing riffs. I haven't been doing homework. This is just all off the dome. So what is that? What are we working with here? Most times I like to go into the metronome settings and raise that shit the fuck up. So, I'm just sort of jamming along here. I'll try to take you through the process here as best I can. Literally just playing what I feel, playing what sounds like it should go along with the drum beat. Most oftentimes the drum beat is really ancillary. I'm just playing what's in my head. The drum beat is there to kind of keep tempo and to keep a structure and to fill out that idea in my head, because usually I kind of write riffs that are in time. You should really actually study rhythm and timing and write riffs that are in time. Again, not to go off on too many tangents here, but I've known a lot of guys who write riffs and have a very good sense of melody or a very good sense of just like, riffage, but their riffs are inadvertently in some weird time signature and they don't even know, or just, it's like a 5/4 riff with a 4/4, like it's like two measures, 5/4 and then 4/4. It's like a 9/8 riff or some weird shit. And if you're doing that on purpose, great. And if you can therefore communicate it to your band members and say this is a 9/8 riff and count it out like that, great. But if you don't know what the fuck you're doing and your riffs are just this weird rhythmic hodgepodge of, like you don't really know where the one is, then that's just that's a no-go. That's a non-starter, So it's great to jam out and to have crazy ideas and to just do whatever comes to your head, but it's, especially when you're writing with a drum program like this, it's really helpful, if not completely necessary, to form those ideas and to forge them within the structure of some kind of recognizable and recreatable time signature. It doesn't always have to be 4/4, but it at least has to be something that you can program the drums to, and that it should accurately represent the idea that you're conveying, but at the same time, you should be able to program those drums or have a drum beat. And they do have MIDI packs that have odd time signatures like 5/4 and 7/8 and shit like that. So it's not unheard of. And if you have to exclusively use those MIDI packs or whatever, but you should just know, at the very least, know what you're doing, and that will make this whole process, as well as playing with other musicians, live musicians, much easier. Way easier. So that's probably worth saying. Anyway, what the fuck was it doing, right? So I think I have an idea for the first riff there. Let's just go with that. Let's just see how that works out. Let's let's see here. My SSD drive takes a while to when you fucking computers spend fucking $1,500 on one and still, but no complaints. Actually, this computer fucking rocks. Knock on wood. I love it. It's great. It treats me well. Okay, fuck that up. Fuck. That's okay. Take two. You know what? Let's not make this harder than it needs to be, right? I mean, seriously, I don't have to make this the best. It doesn't have to be the best fucking song in the world, man. Oh, actually, you know what? I inadvertently did something. I went to the wrong part, but let's just do that. Let's roll with that. So yeah, I guess we're just recording the pre-chorus now. Fuck it, why not? If I can actually do it here. Fuck it. Let's do the chorus too. That's not what I played. Okay, so you gotta get this shit exact. You can't kinda play the same thing. You have to. That second take wasn't perfect. It was just a little different actually. So, but we're gonna keep it. We're gonna go with it. Who cares? Save that. Now what I typically do is mute that. Wait, no, wrong channel. So as you can see, I didn't even start on the 7-string channel. I'm playing a 7-string. I'm not because it doesn't fucking matter. It really, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It's all just guitar channels. So I just started with guitar 1 left, which is where most people would typically start, I think. So the process here pretty much is just doubling again, and then, you know, octupling, I guess. Sometimes you just gotta get serious. Fuck. God, speaking of serious, I gotta hurry this shit up. Fucking One Punch Man's coming on in a half hour. Okay, let's see how that went. That's good. That's acceptable. Okay. So like I said, One Punch Man is coming on in a half hour, so I have to wrap it up. No more spacing out, no more fucking up. Okay, I guess let's hear how just the sounds just... We'll take those guitars, pan them 100%, unmute, turn the effects back on. Sounds like ass, actually. Turning them down helps. Okay, so like I said, it's a start. I'm actually going to go with this, the first take on that one, and the second take on this one. And I think that's probably a good place to start. I'm going to crop these in to the beginning of that measure. Delete that little tail and crop these into the end of that measure. Save. Okay, so that's our pre-chorus and chorus. Let's just figure out the verse and the bridge. So here's a little trick I like to do. So since my template is set up the way it is, and I already have these VSTs on everything, what I like to do is I like to create one or even two dummy tracks. So I will select this nylon guitar track right above the track I'm working on and hit Control T to create a new track. And this is, as I said, my dummy track. I'll end up deleting this, actually, this channel. But for now, I'm going to use it to record guitars on. And I'll show you why. Because as you can see, I record without any kind of monitor effects or input effects or even a guitar amp for that matter. I just record clean, straight DI guitars, direct guitars. So I'm going to set that up. Mono 1, 2. There we go. So that's our input. And that is, I'm going to record guitars on this channel and then just drag the waveform down into whatever actual guitar track I wish it to be. So let's just go back to the verse part, turn the click back on, play that. So a lot of times when I'm writing, I like to keep in mind what I'm transitioning into, like what the first riff or the key of the riff that I'm going into is. This starts off on B, but it's kind of more like a, I don't know, fucking an F or what? No, what B? What? I mean, I'm sorry, a C sharp. It's more like a weird C sharp riff. So let's keep it atonal. What am I doing there? I'm not recording yet. Let's keep it fucking atonal. Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's just do that. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. sounds good. Let's just do that. Let's just do this instead. No, I gotta actually write something cool. Just do this. So part of it is getting the tempo right, because as you can see, the tempo leading up to the change isn't the same tempo as the change. So I have to just sort of memorize it in my head, which is easy enough if you've been doing this long enough. I just have to know that this tempo here is a lot slower than the tempo I'm actually going to be playing at. Wrong. That doesn't really make sense rhythmically or harmonically, does it? That makes a little more sense. It still doesn't. It's not hitting it for me. Let me try something a little bit more weird. If I can pull that off, that's gonna work out better, I think. That one probably sounded like shit, but that's okay. I'm going to keep that. And actually save. Crop that down like so. So here's the thing about the dummy tracks is because I don't record with any kind of effects or input monitoring, anything like that. I mean, input monitoring, yes, but just no input effects. So I'll use these dummy tracks to actually track the guitars, select those both, and then with my Snap 2 enabled, just drag them down here into the other guitar tracks. And as you can see, they line up. They just kind of fall in on automatically crossfade, and then I can hear them in RD pan. Okay, so that's starting to come together. Now, what do I need? A bridge? Okay, that's really... So Superior Drummer is doing this irritating thing where it doesn't... Or maybe it's Reaper, actually. Where it doesn't want to... Even though there's material here, because that material is located within the VST track window here, it's not actually in the Reaper window. It doesn't want to play because it thinks that the track ends right there. I'm sure there's some way that I can get Reaper to stop doing that, but the quickest workaround I found for myself is, so I'm about to record a new bridge. I want to hear it first though, but I just have to hit record. Actually, so on the dummy track here, just arm that, get that going, record it. If I do that, it'll play through. That is, just record something and don't save it. Why don't we just go with something simple? And why not? I think we just have to do it once. And the last part's kind of... Yeah, fuck it. We can make that work. Let's try it again. About that. So that, literally, I'm not even going to... You know what? I'm going to edit that a little bit, though. So, if I do edit guitars at all, I will do this. I'll just highlight the waveform go to where you want to create a split. Put the cursor where you want to create a split, is what I mean. Hit S, create a split. Hold down Alt, and then drag that bad boy where you want it to go. And then that way, if you create a split here, you're not affecting the entire waveform. I'll turn snapping back on. Snap that, undo that. Snap this back to the beginning. And I'll do the same, just record the same thing up here. Turn recording off there. And so it looks like I kind of fucked up here with the timing, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Hit there, or put the cursor there, hit S, select that, hold down Alt so you see the double arrow there, and then just drag with your mouse, left click. So I drag that there to about the same, timing. Put snap back on, crop that back. When I crop that, a lot of times I'll zoom in really close like this and make sure that the beginning of the WAV file isn't actually being crossfaded. So yeah, crop the end of it so it doesn't overlap with the next riff. And then I'll select all of those waveforms, even though, since they're split, you have to make sure that you don't, you select all of them, right? And then just drag them down where they need to be. So yeah, that's basically the song there. We actually just have to highlight these parts here. Select all of that. Copy. Put the cursor there. Control V. Yeah, that's our entire song, actually. That is literally the entire song. I just have to play a lot more guitar parts and do a bass part and vocals and keyboards. So that's literally all the riffs right there. So I'm going to take a quick break and come back, and we are going to do more guitars.